just, it's incredible for a guy that size to be able to maneuver around like he, well, I don't want to say does, but did. I mean, he's been around for like 30 something years, so the wrestling has taken a toll on his body for sure. But if you go back and watch some of the old Undertaker stuff, that guy was incredible. Like, you look at him and you wouldn't think that he'd be able to just jump over the top rope and clear it and land on someone. I mean, that's usually something you see for guys around 6 foot, maybe even a little bit smaller, the high flyers. But man, he was a high flyer. He was a big high flyer. But that's kind of what I've been doing with most of my time, and it's kind of interesting. I'd love to know if anyone actually listens to this podcast, what they've been doing during their time and how they've been getting their sports fix. I mean, do you go back and watch old repeats of like football games, or baseball games, and things like that? Like, I thought about doing that, but I just can't see myself sitting down, excuse me, and watching a sporting event that I already know the outcome to. And, like, I don't know. I could probably go back. And watch the 2011 World Series where the Cardinals had this incredible comeback with David Freese to win the World Series. I'm a big Cardinals fan, and that was awesome. That was amazing. So that I could probably see myself going back and watching something like that. But like just your typical regular football game, I don't know. Like, it's hard enough already to watch regular season sports like baseball and basketball. Like, if the teams are right and everything, I can get into it. But I still have a hard time kind of just sitting down and watching baseball for that long, unless I have a real vested interest, like if the Cardinals are playing or something, or if there's a game coming up where I need this team to lose, so I'm going to watch and see if that happens, so that my Cardinals can get into the playoffs or something along those lines, So, but I did watch the Chicago Bulls. What was it? The Last Dance on ESPN, and I have to say, man, that piece of documentary was well done. It's beautiful. I loved every minute of it and just kept wanting more, and I still want more about that. I don't want it to end. I want it to be like 5,000 episodes about the Last Dance, or maybe even just the Chicago Bulls or Michael Jordan in general. To me, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. And that's my opinion of it. And I know a lot of people have different opinions of it. A lot of people say LeBron James. A lot of people say you can't really have a greatest of all time because of different eras and, and nutrition, workouts and things like that, and drills, and the players just evolve and get better within every sport you have. They just keep getting better and better, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, it's Michael Jordan. I mean, sorry, I'm going to have to wet my whistle here with a nice adult beverage. But it's Michael Jordan. I mean, the guy transcended the game of basketball. No one has ever transcended the game. Like, you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who, his sky hook was an amazing revolution, but it didn't transcend the game. Michael Jordan transcended the game of basketball, and he transcended how athletes are able to market themselves in the media and with all these endorsement deals. Michael Jordan was the man, and still is. I mean, his shoes are still I think the highest selling shoes of all time. Still, I mean, new pair of Jordans come out. I get some of the retro ones sometimes, but you get a new pair of those coming out, and man, they're gone in like 2 minutes. Like, you have to be on your app and ready to just get your size ready, get all your information in, and hit send, buy those shoes, or they're going to be gone. One time I was looking at getting some Jordans, but I didn't pull the trigger. I just didn't feel like paying $200 for a pair of Jordans that I kind of liked. And then I went and checked back maybe an hour or so later, and there they were. They were gone. They're sold out just like that, man. And like nobody does it like Michael Jordan. I mean, the guy had, after watching that documentary, it reminded me of when I grew up watching Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was, to me, like my hero growing up. Of course, on the court, because there really wasn't much of to know about off the court, except for later on. But still, that didn't bother me at all. I mean, the guy's a guy. He could do whatever he wants off the court, as long as it's, legal and he's not hurting anybody. But the guy just did amazing things. And my first memory of watching an NBA Finals was the 1991 Finals, where it was the Bulls versus the Lakers. And I just remember sitting in my bedroom growing up, watching him play the Lakers, and I just remember that move, that famous move, where he goes up with the right hand, comes back down, switches it over to the left, lays it up, and makes that shot. And I just remember that night of the announcers and the TV station just going over that play over and over and over and over again. I was like, man, that at the time I didn't really understand it. Because it happened so fast and everything. But like when you rewatch it in slow motion, the guy is all the way up, could easily just dunked it or laid it up with his right hand, but is falling down, switches it over to his left, throws it back up, makes it. That's incredible. So it's things like that to me, I'm not going to try and argue and do the whole comparison versus LeBron versus MJ. I just think that's part of your typical sports podcast and sports networks they know people get into a frenzy about that, and they know it's going to get people to call in and listen, things like that. And I want people to listen, but I'm not going to just backpack off of what they do either, because to me personally, the whole who's better, LeBron or MJ thing, it's a stupid argument. It's real stupid because there's no facts to base it on. All it is opinions. It's just people. You got pro LB LeBron and you got pro MJ people barking at each other over and over and over again, and you don't get anywhere. I mean, who has really ever changed the mind of someone on the opposite side of the LeBron-Michael Jordan argument? No one that I know of. And I'm not going to try and change your mind, because a lot of the people who are pro-LeBron didn't see Michael Jordan play basketball growing up. They might see videos and things like that, but they're not watching him on a daily basis. They're watching LeBron on a daily basis, or they're watched Kobe Bryant on a daily basis. And so you can't compare. It's all a matter of personal opinion. And if you want to argue with me on why LeBron's better than Michael Jordan, you can come at me all you want. You can talk all you want to talk. I'll gladly listen to you. But you're not going to change my mind. Michael Jordan is the man, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So, just be like that. But that documentary, man, that was awesome. That was beautiful. That was good stuff. Sorry, I got to get one more drink here. I mean, this wouldn't be a sports podcast if I'm not having an adult beverage here. Am I right? Which is, I'm drinking, what is this? American Haze, Voodoo Ranger American Haze by the New Belgium Brewing Company out there in Fort Collins, Colorado. They make a lot of great beers, actually. But this one's pretty good. This American Haze, it's kind of it's not a really potent IPA, which I tend to like more, but it's good. It's still good. It's like 6.7% alcohol. It's still got that bitter taste and everything. So I'd recommend it. If you get a chance, go out, give it a shot. American Haze. We just got done with Memorial Weekend, so why not? Here's to you, USA. Gonna get one more drink of this. But yeah, it's pretty crazy what's going on with sports and how it's affected, how the COVID-19 has affected many people's lives, and not just the athletes, but the people that work in the arenas, the people that work for those professional sports teams themselves who have been furloughed or laid off. It's really sad. It sucks, but it's good to see that some of these players are, taking an initiative to try and help out as best as they can, which, I'm kind of a cynic, for a lot of things. And once we get rolling through this podcast, you'll probably start hearing the cynic come out of me from time to time, but I see things like this and I think, that's great publicity. But there's another part of me that says, you know what? Fuck that. They're just people that are trying to help out. They have a platform. They have the money to help out, and they're doing what they can. And for that, for every athlete or every general manager, athletic director, or anyone who's taken pay cuts or donating their money to help out, I give you a standing ovation. There's, I don't care what your reason is behind it. That's just a great thing, and that's good to see because a lot of people need that. And I know there's been talks about the NBA coming back and the NHL. Just kind of, I think they are getting rid of getting rid of the regular season and just going straight to the postseason. So that will be, interesting to see. Jeez, can't stop burping. How all that plays out. But yeah, so what all do you think would be the best way to go about having games again? Do you think that we will have hockey and basketball games played in an empty stadium? Will they try to emulate a live crowd being there by having some sort of like a digital crowd mixer or something there? The only thing I would, I've had somebody bring that up to me before, and that doesn't sound like a bad idea, but you got to have someone run it, and then how are you going to regulate that? Like, you can make it to where, you're cranking the sound out against an opposing team that might even be louder than what the fans are. So that idea is probably not the best way to go about doing something like that. Maybe if you stuck it in there for games that are televised to kind of help people at home watch games. So like going back to the WWE WrestleMania 36, where it was no fans at all. That was just really weird, really eerie. And to me, I thought it was probably one of the worst WrestleManias I've watched so far. And so I've watched all the way up from 1 to 12, and then including that 36 there. And 36 was just bad. It was just real bad. And I think not having fans there is a big part of that. And I worry that watching games without fans is going to be a big turnoff, like watching practice. Like you have no fan interaction, you have no sounds, because, that's something I think we take for granted and don't really think about very often, how, when we're watching a game at home, we get excited over a play, but when you hear the fans at the stadium get excited, or even when the opposing fans are booing the hell out of them, that helps gets us pumped up. I mean, it does for me. I get super excited if I'm watching my teams play and they're playing at home and the fans are going crazy. It's like I'm going crazy, and I just really